Hello friends, this is presentation of block cipher operations. Outline of the presentation: multiple encryption and triple dash, electronic codebook mode, cipher block chaining mode, cipher feedback mode, output feedback mode, counter mode. Multiple encryption and triple dash. A replacement of dash was needed because of theoretical attacks that can be break it. Demonstrated exhaustive key search attacks. AES is a new alternative. Prior to this alternative was to use multiple encryption with dash implementation. Triple dash is the chosen form. This is the diagram of double encryption, in which the plain text is encrypted by using the key K1, then output X is again encrypted by using the key K2, and we get a ciphertext. In the reverse process, the ciphertext is decrypted in the reverse order of the keys K2, then X is the output of the first decryption, then decrypted again by using the key K1, and we get a plain text. This is the triple encryption, in which the plain text and the key K1 is applied to the first encryption, then the output A is again decrypted using the K2, then the output B is again encrypted by using key K1, and we get a ciphertext. And the decryption is the reverse process, in which the ciphertext is decrypted first by using K1, and then by using K2 encryption process is applied, and then again decryption is process as applied by using key K1, and we get a plain text. Double dash. Two encryption stages and two keys are used. This is the formula for first is encrypted by using key K1, and the result is encrypted by using key K2, we get a ciphertext. The decryption process is reverse. Issue of reduction to a single stage and have meet in the middle attack works whenever you use a cipher twice. Since X equals to encryption of P by using key K1, this is equals to decryption of ciphertext by using K2. Attack by encryption P with all keys and store, then decrypt C with keys and match X value. Triple dash with two keys. Use 3 encryption and 3 distinct keys, but can use 2 keys with EDE sequence. This is the formula. First, we encrypt the plain text P by using key K1, and then we decrypt the result of this by using key K2, and then we again encrypt the result by using key K1, and we get a ciphertext. The decryption process is reverse of this, and the encrypt and decrypt equivalent in security. If K1 equals to K2, then can work with a single dash. No current down practical attacks. Triple dash with 3 keys. Although no practical attacks on the two key triple dash, but 2 key in triple dash, but have some indications. Can use triple dash with 3 keys to avoid that even these. This is the formula. First of all, the plain text P is encrypted using key K1, then result is decrypted using key K2, and the result is again encrypted using key K3. We get a ciphertext. The decryption process is reverse of this formula. Has been adopted by some internet applications. Example, PGP as MIME. Electronic codebook mode. Message is broken into independent blocks which are encrypted. Each block is a value which is substituted like a codebook. Each block is encoded independently of the other blocks, and this is the formula. The plain text PI is encrypted using this algorithm by using key K1, and then we get a ciphertext CI. Uses of this is secure transmission of single values. This is the diagram of electronic code book, and the plain text P1 is encrypted using key K. We get a ciphertext C1, and plain text P2 is encrypted using key K. We get cipher C2, and so on. And this is the decryption process in which the ciphertext C1 is decrypted by using key K. We get a plain text P1. The ciphertext C2 is decrypted using key K, and we get a plain text P2, and so on. Advantages and limitations of ECB. Message repetitions may shown in ciphertext if aligned with the message block, particularly with the data such graphics, or with messages that change very little, which become a codebook analysis problem. Weakness is due to the encrypted message blocks being independent. Main use is sending a few blocks of data. Cipher block chaining mode. Message is broken into blocks linked together in encryption operation. Each previous cipher block is chained with current plain text block, hence the name. Use initial vector to start process, and this is the formula. The plain text PI is XORed with the ciphertext of the previous stage, and this is the again encryption process by using dash key K. We get a ciphertext, and this is the initial vector. The application of this mode is in block data encryption and authentication. Cipher block chaining mode. This is the diagram, and here we see that the initial vector, the plain text P1, and this is encrypted by using the key K, and this is the ciphertext, and this ciphertext is chained to the next stage, and this is XORed with the plain text P2, and we XORed it with the ciphertext of previous stage, and then encrypt, and we get a ciphertext C2, and so on. This is the decryption process. Message spreading. At end of message must be handled a possible /short block, which is not a large as possible block size of the cipher, paired either with known data values, example NAS, or paired last block along with count of paired size. For example, there are 3 bytes B1, B2, B3, and this is paired by 5 bytes, 4 zeros, and the 5. This 5 indicates the total paired plus count value. Means have 3 data bytes, then 5 bytes paired plus count. This may require an extra entire block over those in message. There are other modes which avoid the need for an extra block. Advantages and limitations of CBC. A ciphertext block depends on all blocks before it. Any change to a block affects all following ciphertext blocks. Need initialization vector, which must be known to sender and receiver. If sent in clear, attacker can change bits of first block and change initial vector to compensate. Hence, initial vector must either be a fixed value or must be sent encrypted in ECB mode before rest of messages. Cipher feedback mode. Message is treated as a stream of bits added to the output of the block cipher. The result is feedback for next stage, hence the name. And standard allows any number of bit 1, 8, 64 and 128 to be feed back, denoted by CAB1, CAB8, CAB64, CAB128, etc. Most efficient to use all bits in blocks 64 and 128. This is the formula here for encryption, and the application of this mode is stream data encryption and authentication. and this is the diagram. Here is the initial vector shift register, and we encrypt first initial vector by using key K. Then we select S bits, most significant bit, and we discard the B minus S bits, and then these S bits are XORed with the S bits of the plain text, and we get a S bit cipher text. This S bit cipher text is replaced in the next put in the next stage S bits, and this the shift register shifted S bits left, and these S bits of the cipher text are put at least significant bits. Then again encryption by using key, and again the S bits are selected, and the S bits of plain text P2 is XORed, and we get a cipher text C2. And this is the decryption process. Again this is same, but C1, for example, the C1 is XORed with the S bits XORed, and we get a P1, and so on. Advantage and limitation of CAB. Appropriate when data arrives in bits, bytes. Most common stream mode. Limitations: need to stall while do block encryption after every n bits. Note that the block cipher is used in encryption mode at both ends. Error propagates for several blocks after the error. Output feedback mode. Message is treated as a stream of bits. Output of cipher is added to message. Output is then feedback, and the name. Feedback is independent of message, can be computed in advance, and this is the formula for the output is XORed with the plain text. We get a cipher text, and again the output of previous stage is encrypted, and we get a output IO of next stage. And the application of this mode is in stream encryption on noisy channels. Output feedback mode. This is the diagram, and this is the nonce. It is an initial vector encrypted using the key. We get, and the plain text P1 is XORed, and then we get a C1, and this output of encryption is feedback to the next stage for the encryption by using key, and that output is again feedback for later stages, and so we get, and the XORed with the plain text P2, and we get a cipher text C2. This is the decryption process. This is reverse of the encryption process. Here the cipher text C1 is XORed with the output of this encryption, and we get a plain text. Advantage and limitation of output feedback mode. Bit errors do not propagate in transmissions, more vulnerable to message stream modification attack. Counter mode. A counter equal to the plain text block size is used, similar to output feedback mode, but encrypts counter value rather than any feedback value. Must have a different key and a counter value for every plain text block, and this is the formula. The output is XORed with PI, and this is the we get a encrypted value. The application is high speed network encryptions, and this is diagram for counter mode, and this is the encryption. This is the counter we encrypt by using the key. The output of this encryption is XORed with the plain text P1, and we get a cipher text C1. And the next counter is incremented by 1, and this is encryption encrypted by key K. The output is XORed with the plain text P2. We get a C2, and so on. And this is the decryption process. Here the counter 1 is encrypted by using key K. The output is XORed with the ciphertext C1 and we get again plaintext P1. Advantage and limitation of counter mode. The efficiency that can do parallel encryption in hardware or software, can pre-process in advance of need, good for bursty high-speed links, random access to encrypted data blocks, probable security is good as other modes, but must ensure never reuse key oblique counter values, otherwise could be break. Thank you.